Check, check. Okay, sounding good. Let's do this thing. I'm Chronix from the most extreme wrestling, and this is your AEW Dynamite review for May 19th, 2021. Yes, it's May 19th. That is a very important day as it pertains to wrestling, or at least in the history of it. May 19th, Kane, and we got a Dynamite review coming at you right now. We're back in Jacksonville, Florida. We're at the Daly's place. We got JR, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur all on commentary tonight. And Double or Nothing is coming up on May 30th. That's going to be on pay-per-view. And yeah, they're going to have a couple of shows. They're going to be having Dynamite next week on a Friday. My goodness. They're just loading this thing up. They got a fan event the next day, and then we got the pay-per-view. So it's all coming up, and that's going to be happening next week. But what's happening right now? I'm going to start off with the very first match of the night. We got Christian Cage. He is in the ring, going to be taking on Matt Sydal, and Taz. He's on commentary. I mean, I guess he's got to pay close attention to Christian Cage, see what this man is up to, see what he's doing. These two former WWE guys, and Matt Sydal and Christian Cage, hey, they're having a little bit more of a slowed down style. Well, at least for AEW here in this. This is more psychology based. So it's cool to see that. I love seeing Christian every chance that we get, but it's good to see that. Sydal, he does try to get some of his fancy maneuvers on later here in this match, but look, he gets caught. He gets caught right in that kill switch. And Christian Cage comes away with a pinfall victory. So he's looking nice. He's looking good. Yeah. He picks up Matt Sydal after this thing. You know, he's not mad about it. I mean, I don't know why he'd be mad about it. He won. But he's not going to gloat. He's not trying to make a point. He picks up Matt Sydal, gives him a hug. Because he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Hey, what's up, Super Serpents? I see you in the chat. How's it going, my man? I know you've been working. I know you hadn't been in the chat, or at least not last week, but I see you. You're here, and that's awesome. It is a great night for a live. We're going to go live up on this thing right now. Yeah, after that, after the hug, after the embrace, things didn't just stay so nice and peaceful because Taz, he got off of that commentary. He stood up. You couldn't really tell that he was standing up because, you know, he's short, right? But he stood up. And what he lacks in height, he makes up for in his speaking abilities. As he's shouting, he's talking smack. And Ricky Starks, he comes out. He's wearing a suit, but no shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like buttoned up, everything looking nice, just no shirt. I was like, that's a style I could get down with. You know what I mean? I could do that. I could pull that off. And, you know, he's starting to cut his little promo here. But then, boom, out of nowhere from behind, you got Hooks and Hobbs. They come down to attack, right? Cage, man, he's attacking from behind. This is just a blindside on these guys. They were just trying to embrace, you know, and all of a sudden, Christian, after this victory, Team Taz, they just don't like it. They don't like this thing, not whatsoever. But Christian Cage, he's not alone. See, Adam Page, he comes down to help out a little bit to break this thing up just a bit, just a little bit. He comes out, he has a beer in his hand because he's Adam Page. Of course, he gives that beer to Ricky Starks, you know, basic, like literal hold my beer while I go do this. He's going to go in there to settle the score, but he's outnumbered. He's outnumbered by a lot. All of Team Taz is up in there. And Page, he tries, you know, he's trying to hit that buckshot lariat on everyone. But he gets a power bomb instead, and Ricky Starks enjoys that beer that Adam Page had handed him earlier. So at Double or Nothing pay-per-view coming up next week, Page is going to take on Brian Cage. So, yeah, Brian Cage, man, that is one muscled up dude. And Page, he's going to have that arm loaded, you know what I mean? He's going to have to be doing those barbell curls and all that kind of stuff, right? Because he's going to have it. He's going to be against somebody like Brian Cage. All the muscle, all the strength. So, plus with Team Taz, man, there's a lot of people up in that group. A lot of people trying to attack from behind, trying to do dirty tricks and whatnot. So you got to watch out for these things coming up into this pay-per-view. All right. So check it out. We got the Varsity Blondes. Now, I was saying previously that Varsity Blondes, they weren't really getting accentuated, not really getting shown. And I'm talking about Dynamite, forget Dark Elevation and all this kind of stuff. I'm talking about on Dynamite, on their premiere weekly show, right? Well, they do get a promo, and they got a new member. They got Julia Hart, no relation to the Hart family, but she had that cheerleader outfit. I think it was last week, and I was like, well, that's weird. But now she's with two dudes that have like varsity jackets, and they're Varsity Blondes, right? So I was like, hey, it fits. She's a cheerleader. She's blonde. Hey, it works, right? So Brian Pillman Jr. said that he stayed away from wrestling for a long time. People were like, hey, your dad was in it. You should be in it. But he saw the dark side of the ring and he wanted to stay away from it. But then he saw the Young Bucks. And for whatever reason, according to him in this promo, the Young Bucks, kind of changed his mind. He was like, ooh, this is something I could do. I could get into. Griff Garrison, he's speaking now on the microphone. He said a long time ago in 2018, he manned the Young Bucks merch table, and everything changed from there. And I was like, man, I didn't know that 2008 or 2018 was a long time. I mean, 2008 was kind of a long time ago, but 2018, that was only a couple of years ago. But I must say, the past year or two, I mean, it seems like decades. Time is all kinds of whacked up. But yeah, they are going to be in action tonight. They sure are. In the main event, it's going to happen. All right. Look, Moxley and Kingston, they got a pre-recorded promo. One that was obviously edited. They had like the white transition, when you do like a hard edit and you want to like convey to people that it's obviously edited. So I was okay with that, whatever. It looked like that they just kind of were just saying whatever came to their mind. They were just kind of chilling. They were just kind of doing their thing. And Kingston, he doesn't want to go to a super kick party. He doesn't want the Young Bucks to do this. He doesn't want that. They're dunking on the Acclaim. They're talking mess about them, and they're going to fight. So they're just kind of hanging out and talking crap. So, hey, what's going to happen? The Acclaim, they get a pre-recorded promo right after this, and they talk about how they're high-ranked, and they're higher ranked than Moxley and Kingston. So a little bit of setup going in here. Now we got the match. We got Moxley and Kingston. Now they're coming out to the Wild Thing song. The Wild Thing theme song, right? But it's not the original. It is a remixed version. It's like not a remix, but it's like a re-recorded. Some other person. It's a lady singing it. So it's definitely a different thing. And I was like, did they literally change it? Because surely it had to cost more to get the original song, right? And they're just like, we're just not going to pay for it. It's fine. It's fine. People will still sing it and clap along, which they did. So I guess it's good enough. Now the Acclaimed, they do these little raps when they come out, right? And they mention John Moxley's wife and her DMs and like mentions on Twitter, right? And the oral sessions, which is the weirdest title for a podcast. I mean, I get it. It makes sense. Technically, yes, it makes total sense. But what a strange name. I mean, you're just asking people to dunk on you, right? But of course, you're talking about John Moxley's wife here. And yeah, they don't like that. Of course, Moxley does not like this. He does not enjoy the punditry that's happening on here. So Moxley jumpstarts this match. I'm talking about he throws a hand in Bowen's face. Like, this dude was still trying to talk, and it was just like, boonk, bink. This dude gets hit so hard, it's insane. But the Acclaim, though, man, they cut deep on when they're coming out here and speaking during their entrances. It's crazy. So I'm sure that they get this stuff cleared, but it's like, damn, dude, they really went there. Their gear looks good. They look good. They're great heels. For guys that are this young, man, they are some standouts in AEW, and that's awesome. I'm glad they got some people to work with. But in this match, Bowen, he gets tossed the chain. Caster comes in with the boombox while the referee is distracted. Moxley uses it against Caster. And double team, you got, what was it, Kingston? He does the wheelbarrow. And then you got John Moxley. He uses this to turn it into a paradigm shift. Boom, DDT for the win right there. Done with this. And then Alex Marvez, he's trying to, this is after the match, backstage, Alex Marvez is trying to interview Jericho. Jericho has Dean Malenko by his side, and I was thinking to myself, wow, that's weird. You have Chris Jericho and the guy he was talking about the 101 holds, right? And then they mentioned it. So I was like, oh, I guess that totally makes sense. You know, it's like the only thing people remember about those two guys working together, I guess. But there was nothing to the promo. There was nothing to the segment other than to point that out, essentially. So that was just kind of random. So there you go. I don't even know why they recorded that, honestly. But next up, we got Tony's in the ring, and he's interviewing Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Scorpio Sky says that, he was a stinger and all this, but time has gotten to Sting. So it's basically over for him. And Scorpio Sky, he's not a little stinger anymore. He's a big boy these days. And Ethan Page, he cuts a promo, but he sounds like a generic man. He sounds like, I don't know. He looks and sounds just so generic. Like, I don't even know what his character is. I'm like, okay, well, here is this guy, and he is speaking. He's talking about Darby Allin. He's talking very loud. He's yelling, he's getting into it, I guess, but that's about it. He does drop this line where he says he will be the final nail in the coffin for Darby Allin. Yeah, snow falls. And when the snow falls at AEW in May in Florida, in Jacksonville, it only could be one thing. It's Sting. Sting comes down, and then Darby from behind with the skateboard attacks, and we get a little bit of retribution. But Page and Ethan Page and Sky, they try to get away. They start limping away, but the Dark Order block the heel entrance and the face entrance. They won't let these dudes leave. So Dark Order just blocking the way. Not going to let it happen. Not going to let these guys get anywhere. Now we see another pre-recorded segment. It is at some fancy restaurant. The Pinnacle, they're having dinner. MJF is neurotic. He's angry at Jericho. I was like, man, this guy needs some help. Like, these guys, how could you be that angry at dinner? Like, they got wine and everything. I don't know. This dude, he's got no chill. He cannot get over himself. MJF is just very angry. Dax cuts this promo where he is also just super intense. Everybody's so intense. I'm like, my goodness. It's like, dude, I don't know, man. I just know when I'm eating food, I'm a little more chilled. I don't remember the last time I was just eating and I was just infuriated and just wanted to just destroy somebody, It's just a time for relaxing, I thought, but no, it's not happening for the Pinnacle. Sean attacks the waiter, or at least he grabs him and holds him a little bit. Doesn't he break the bottle over him? I don't know. He breaks a bottle, and Tully tosses the waiter some money for his troubles. They are super mad. They are super angry. My goodness, like, somebody knocked the Pinnacle off the top of their little mountain there, because holy crap. All right, now we got Sheeta. She is the women's champion. She's been champion for a year, right? She's taking on Rebel, not Reba, but Rebel here. She's got a crutch, and she's got Britt Baker with her. And remember, Britt Baker is going to be taking on Sheeta at Double or Nothing at the pay-per-view. So that's pretty cool. Now, Rebel, she tries early on to fake her leg injury. She's like, oh my God, it's broke. It's hurt, right? But Sheeta, she's not really buying that. Sheeta at one point even pulls out a black glove. She's going to be using that lockjaw on Britt Baker's assistant there on Rebel, but doesn't get to happen right at that moment. Britt, she gets the title. Reba uses a crutch behind the referee's back. Man, there's so many distractions here on Dynamite on this episode. It is insane. Rebel, she ends up tapping to Sheeta, and Britt Baker attacks Sheeta, and she's got that title. So, yeah. Is she going to come away with that championship at Double or Nothing? I think so. I think it's time. I think it's time. Give it to Britt Baker, man. I think that she'd be able to do it justice. And I don't know what the deal is with Sheeta not being like involved in storylines. Like I just don't get it. Like I know, okay, well they attacked her. That's the storyline, and that. But it just seems so. It seems so one-sided. It just seems like Britt Baker's just doing all the work on that side. She does great in the ring, but I think once Britt Baker has it, we'll be seeing some new stuff. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Assuming that she wins. Hey, who knows what's going to happen there? We'll find out soon because this is going to be happening next week. Omega and Callis, they come to where the best friends are. And of course, Orange Cassidy, he's milking some of his injuries. He's still hurting a little bit. You know, they got the trainer there. But Chris Statlander leaves. The best friends leave. So Callis, Omega, and Orange Cassidy can speak candidly. They can speak one-on-one. Now, Callis, he's got a little folder. It's got some paperwork in it. It's a contract to get Orange Cassidy out of the match. They're like, look, sign this. We know you're hurt and you won't have to face us now, but someday far, far away, you can get a rematch. Basically just blowing the dude off. And Orange Cassidy gets the contract and he slowly rips it so incredibly slow that it is driving Callis just insane. But luckily they had a spare contract that they gave him. So I guess he can mull that over and he can think about that, whether or not he's going to actually sign that, which I can't imagine that he would, because, hey, when you can get the opportunity to be in a main event on a pay-per-view, man, Orange Cassidy, you got to take it. You got to go for it. Now, Jericho, he's in the ring with the Inner Circle, and it's time to talk. Ortiz, of course, he wants to fight. Sammy says that this is never going to end. Hager, he doesn't want their team to be like Pinnacle. Jericho starts speaking, and of course, Jericho's just killing it on the promos recently. I don't know what this man, he's just doing it. He's bringing the fire to his promos over here. He brings up the stipulation that if they lose, then they'll have to break up. And I'm thinking to myself, I guess they're going to break up, because they're not going to break up the Pinnacle this early, right? That would be crazy. And plus, yeah, like the Inner Circle, to me, should have already been broken up. I'm sorry. I think they should have already been broken up. But it didn't happen. But is this the blow off? I don't know. They just had a giant, like, blood and guts, like huge cage match. And now they're going to have the match in the football field. What is it even called? Anyways, is that the blow off? Is that the end? I mean, what could you possibly do past then? I just don't know. I just don't know what you could do beyond that. But leave it up to AEW, man. They got some crazy ideas sometimes. Yeah. But Jericho brings up the fall off the cage, and I swear, dude, I swear that people were booing. Now, maybe let's be generous and say that they were booing the fact that he fell and almost like got permanently injured, taken out. You know, his family was worried for him. But it really sounded like people were booing in the fashion that they were like, oh, that kind of sucked. I didn't like that. That was bad. That was bad stuff. That's the vibe I was getting from it. But yeah. So he's got to answer. He's got to answer for the Pinnacle. And the answer is if they're going to have this match. Are they going to have this match at Double or Nothing? Yes, they're going to do it. And they all flip off the camera because that's what we do here. Now, Jade, she has another pre-recorded interview with Tony Schiavone, and in which Jade, she doesn't even get to speak because this dude, Mark, he shows up and wants to not manage Jade Cargill. He wants to be in her own group, like he wants to join her. What? And she kicks him out, and then she says she'll think about it. And I was like, I just like yelled at the screen, like, oh my God, they should have just re-recorded this entire promo. Because no, are they seriously going to have, I just don't get it. Like, I don't even know what the Mark is doing here in AEW. Like, I mean, I'm sure he has some kind of job in AEW, right? But as far as an on-screen dude, why? Like, what is the purpose? Please don't. I don't want to see Jade with this dude. I don't want it to happen. So I'm going to hope that it doesn't. Cross my fingers. Second time tonight, I'm going to cross him. I'm crossing him off screen, but I'm doing it. Look, Jade, just say no to the Mark dude. That's all I'm saying. Now we have the NWA Women's Championship match. It's Serena Deeb, who is the champion, taking on Red Velvet. And I was excited for this match. And it surprised me, too. Like, I was hyped up. I was excited. And it was even better than I anticipated. Serena starts this thing off hard and heavy. She's like tossing her shirt. Red Velvet's eyes, striking hard from both of them. Get a neck breaker for 2 right here early on. Velvet comes back strong for a brief moment, but man, Serena Deeb is coming, dude. And Velvet goes for a moonsault off the top, but gets countered, knees right in her ribs, my man. The viciousness of this match is crazy. Serenity lock and Velvet taps. But this was a really good match. This was excellent. Red Velvet, man, her entrance, she's got it down. She's got the mannerisms. She's great, man. She is good. She's really good. I'm glad that they got her on the roster. Serena Deeb, I mean, technically she's NWA, but hey, they get to showcase her. That's awesome. And Serena Deeb is still the champion. Good stuff. Now we got Austin Gunn with Cody. Cody's got an American flag. He's got like a 90s like patriotic jacket. They got Arn Anderson there having trouble going down the stairs on the entrance. It's Austin Gunn versus Anthony Ogogo, the governor. With the factory on his side, Gunn gets his mouth busted open pretty early on. Ogogo, yeah, there's more blood on Anthony Ogogo's face than there is on Austin Gunn. So I don't know if it like sprayed out or exploded. Like, I don't know what happened there. But Ogogo, he dishes out another punch and wins the match. Ogogo with a victory. And yeah, Cody comes in there to check on Gunn. And Ogogo takes Cody's American flag. But Cody gets it back. And yeah. Ogogo leaves with his hand raised and his own Union flag in his hand, right? So I don't know what Cody, he's just like Mr. America over here. It's like, okay, well, I gotta take on this UK guy. Boy, I gotta be patriotic. I gotta have the American flag. I mean, last week he ended racism. He's an American hero. It's just like, dang. I mean, Cody, he's freaking Superman. You know what I mean? He's Captain America. He's like everybody. He's all the superheroes put together because he's Cody Rhodes. All of a sudden he's like touting these American flags. Like, it's just so random. Why AEW? It's like, is there really any like friction between UK people and Americans in 2021? No. Like, so strange. Like, do they think at the pay-per-view people are going to be chanting USA, USA for Cody? Oh, you know what's sad? They are. That's what sucks about it. 'Cause people really will be. They'll be like, woo, Cody, he's just an American hero. Ah! And I don't know if I can handle it. But I'm going to have to handle right now. Recap SCU losing. They're not going to be in a tag team anymore. Of course, they had to recap it because last week they just cut it off really suddenly. They're like, well, they lost. I guess they're not a tag team anymore. But Alex Marvez, he's interviewing and he brings up the cryptic tweet about how Christopher Daniels saying that that's all right. Like he's not going to wrestle anymore. Seems to be the case. I mean, Christopher Daniels, he says something in the ear to Kazarian. We don't know what it was, but something. He says something in his ear secretively, and he walks away. Is he going to be gone forever? I sure hope not, because that would suck. But he's been in the game for a long, long time. That is absolutely for sure. Kazarian cuts his promo. He's wearing a baseball cap for some reason. I don't really know, but he's going to hunt down each and every one of the elite, and he is going to, he's going to be a one man taking them all down. Who should Christopher Daniels' retirement opponent? Who would it be? Man, that is a good question. There is so many people that he could go against. It kind of seemed like that was the end for him. I mean, obviously that was the end for him as a tag team, but in the AEW roster, I'll tell you, they better build it up, whatever it is, because that is a big freaking deal. I mean, this man, he's been around forever. I don't think you could even casually watch wrestling and really make it mean and not end it the way they did with their tag match. I guess they're done. It's over now. But TNT champ. We got Miro on the microphone. He's gonna face Lance Archer at the pay-per-view. Okay, Miro's out there. He's thanking Jesus for his abilities, his power, and I'm like, yeah, look, Samoa Joe. Yeah, I guess they have to wait some time because of the no compete clause. But yeah, I would definitely be invested for that. But Miro, look, he's going to defend his championship next week. And Lance Archer, he comes out. He's got Jake Roberts, and Lance is, he tells Miro he's going to make him his Bulgarian bitch. And I was like, oh, he said this. Miro, he didn't really have a comeback. He's just like, oh, you're going to have to do a lot of yoga, if you're going to face me. And I was like, oh boy, that was weak, right? Next Dynamite is Friday. Check this out. Jade is going to have a match next week. Against who? I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be short. Oh yeah, it's going to be very short. Ethan and Scorpio Sky are going to be in action next week. Double or Nothing is May 30th. And Sting, they make such a point to tell us Sting will wrestle in the ring, not in a pre-recorded thing, not in a cinematic match. No. He will be having a match in the ring, an actual match. And I thought that was so funny that they had to reiterate this so much, because I'm sure a lot of fans were not upset, but, really wishing that his last match was in the ring match, especially when you're buying the pay-per-view tickets or like the actual show on pay-per-view, especially for the people in the building. They want to see Sting, and they want to see him in front of their faces, in front of their eyes. But next is the Varsity Blondes versus the Bucks. We're talking about a main event here on Dynamite here on Wednesday. We got the tag team championship on the line. Callis on commentary. The Varsity Blondes with Julia Hart versus the Young Bucks, who are the champions. Now, Garrison, he starts out in this match. Pillman looking good, man. He's looking good. I know he's still green. I know it's still early, but man, he's got some size and he's got some personality. So that's good. That's good. Griff Garrison, sometimes he looks, I don't know if intimidated is probably not the word, but he looks so fresh. You know what I mean? He's like experiencing a lot of these things for the first time. I mean, here he is in the main event on Dynamite. That's crazy for the titles. That's a big moment in this man's early career right here. But yeah, the Bucks, they're slimy, man. They're cheating all over the place. There's some dirty dudes, It's messed up. These guys, what has happened to the Young Bucks? Why are they like this? Why every time do I get on Twitter does it say new bio? And I'm just like, oh my God, I just want to put them on silent because it's just too much. It's too much of my timeline, is what I'm saying. And they were causing just as much frustration in this match to the Varsity Blondes as it was causing me. My goodness. That cold spray, it was getting used. Nick uses this. Matt goes for the cold spray again, but Julia by the ropes, and another can gets tossed and used on her. I was like, oh man, you cannot do this. And I got to say, like, I like the Varsity Blondes having Julia Hart. Like, it fits, it works. And I'm digging it. I'm digging what they're doing, as they build their careers and they build their gimmicks here in Dynamite. It's pretty nice. But the Bucks, they get the win and they're still champions. Callis is clapping, or he's very excited, and Brandon Cutler gives the cold spray to the Bucks. Like, he's just spraying it all over them, right? Then, hey, we still got like 1 minute left in this show, right? So why not? We got Moxley and Kingston. They show up and they stomp a mud hole in the Bucks. They getting some retribution over here. And Moxley and Kingston, they both put on individually on each one of the Bucks rear naked chokes and leaving the Bucks laid out. I'm talking about out like a light. Kingston and Moxley are taking the Bucks shoe, toss them up on the power lines, but they just left these men with no shoes. And they're going to have to go into the pay-per-view, perhaps shoeless. I don't know. Maybe they'll get some new ones. I'm not entirely sure. But, pay-per-view coming up. Kingston and Moxley versus the Bucks. Titles are going to be on the line. Casino Battle Royal. We got the Stadium Stampede. That's the name of it. Why could I not remember that? Titles are on the line. Hey, May 30th, Double or Nothing. The next Dynamite is Friday, so I won't be here doing a live review on Wednesday. I'll be doing it on Friday instead. But that was AEW Dynamite. Man, we're one more episode away from the pay-per-view, and it'll be interesting to see, will that increase the buy rate, having people watch watch Dynamite, and then just days later you get to watch the pay-per-view. Is that enough? Is that going to get people excited? I think it'll help. As far as pay-per-view sales go. But I'm excited about the pay-per-view. AEW generally does a pretty good job, They deliver for the most part. The exploding ring, that was freaking horrible. They've done some really cool space. You can find me there. And of course, the YouTube Wrestling Federation, Facebook.com/YouTube Wrestling Federation, and on YouTube, youtube.com/YouTube Wrestling Federation. Thank you guys for checking it out, and I will catch you guys